Dr. Harrison, everything good? Okay, let's go ahead and resume this Pompano Beach City Commission meeting, July 28th or July 29th, 2026 at 10 a.m. I believe item number 8 is the second reading of an ordinance.
It may well be. Oh, hang on. An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, approving and authorizing the proper city officials to execute a billing service agreement and a business associate addendum between the City of Pompano Beach and Digitech Computer LLC, providing for severability, providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second for discussion. Good morning, Mr. McGinnis, Chief McGinnis.
Good morning, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, Mr. City Manager, and Mr. City Attorney. What we have before you today is a second reading of the ordinance for our billing company, which is Digitech. There is no changes from the first reading, and I'm available for questions.
Thank you for that. This is a public hearing. Is there any input from the public on this item? Seeing none, public input closed. Commission discussion, questions, concerns. Seeing none, let's go ahead and call the roll.
Commissioner Fezzik.
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins.
Yes.
Commissioner Segerson-Eden.
Yes.
Commissioner Smith.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fournier.
Yes.
Mayor Harden.
Yes. Item 9 is the second reading of an ordinance.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, approving and authorizing award of ITB 26-039 to Waterfield Florida Staffing LLC as the lowest ranked bidder, approving and authorizing the proper city officials to execute the agreement between the City of Pompano Beach and Waterfield Florida Staffing LLC for crossing guard services, providing for severability, providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second for discussion. Mr. Bohr, good morning.
Good morning. Scott Moore, Parks and Recreation. This is the second reading of an ordinance to enter an agreement with Waterfield Florida Staffing LLC to provide crossing guard services. There's no changes since the first reading.
Very good. Thank you for that. This is a public hearing. Is there any input from the public on this item? Seeing none, public input closed. Commission discussion, questions. Seeing none, let's call the roll.
Commissioner Fezzik.
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins.
Yes.
Commissioner Segerson-Eden.
Yes.
Commissioner Smith.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fournier.
Yes.
Mayor Harden.
Yes. Item 10 is the second reading of an ordinance.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, approving and authorizing award of RFP 26-040 to Stantec Consulting Services, Inc. and Wildan Financial Services as the highest-ranked proposers, approving and authorizing the proper city officials to execute the agreement between the City of Pompano Beach and Stantec Consulting Services, Inc. and Wildan Financial Services for utilities rate financial planning and organizational services, providing for severability, providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second for discussion. Good morning, Mr. Heyer.
Good morning, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Utilities Department requests Commission approval to enter into this professional service agreement for these services. This is a second reading. The agreements will be for 5 years with no renewals. There's no immediate fiscal impact, and the services will be authorized through individual work authorizations based on need. There has been no changes since the first reading.
Very good. Thank you for that. This is a public hearing. Is there any input from the public on this item? Seeing none, public input closed. Commission discussion. Seeing none, let's go ahead and call the roll.
Commissioner Fezzik.
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins.
Yes.
Commissioner Segerson-Eden.
Yes.
Commissioner Smith.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fournier.
Yes.
Mayor Harden.
Yes. Item 11 is the first reading of an ordinance.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, approving and authorizing award of RFP 26-026 to CBIZ CPAs PC as the highest-ranked proposer, approving and authorizing the proper city officials to execute an independent auditing services agreement between the City of Pompano Beach and CBIZ CPAs PC for external auditing and compliance services, providing for severability, providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded for discussion. Good morning, Ms. Furtado.
Good morning, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Alison Furtado, Finance Director. Before you this morning is a recommendation from the city's Audit Committee to approve the ranking of firms under RFP 26-026 for independent auditing services and to authorize the city to enter into an agreement with CBIZ CPA PC, the highest ranked firm, to perform the city's annual independent financial audit. Pursuant to Section 218.391 Florida statute, local governments are required to establish an auditor selection committee to evaluate proposal and to recommend an independent certified public accounting firm to the governing body. The statute requires that the committee rank the responding firms in order of preference and submit its recommendation to the commission for approval. The audit committee conducted a thorough and competitive evaluation of the proposal based on the criteria established in the RFP, including technical qualification and experience with governmental audits, experience auditing Florida local governments, qualification of proposed engagement team, ability to meet reporting deadlines, and overall value to the city. Following its evaluation, the audit committee unanimously ranked CBIZ CPA PC as the highest qualified firm. CBIZ has extensive experience providing governmental auditing services and possesses the qualifications necessary to perform the city's annual comprehensive financial report audit in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards, government auditing standards, and the requirement of the Florida Auditor General. Approval of this item will authorize the city to execute an agreement with CBIZ CPA PC to perform the city's independent auditing services for the initial contract term with renewal options as provided in the agreement. Staff respectfully recommend approval of the audit committee's recommendation and the agreement with CBIZ CPA PC.
Very good, thank you for that. This is a public hearing. Is there any input from the public on this item? Seeing none, public input closed. Commission discussion. Vice Mayor?
Thank you. So I sat on this committee, and I want to say thank you to the professionals from all over the county that came here and gave their time to our city to make this process successful. There was a substantial expertise in the room, and we had multiple meetings to refine the RFP and then obviously review the proposals. So I just want to thank everyone who was a part of it. I do think it was, I'm proud of the process and the outcome here. And, you know, I think we did our diligence on all of the proposers. We checked their references, their qualifications, all of that. So and thank you to Allison for your leadership on this too.
Thank you.
Commissioner Fessick?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for your hard work on this. I'm sure that there were a lot of very talented people involved. I was going through the, just because I have a tendency to just go through when I read through the RFP, and then I read through, I go in Sunbiz and I look people up and try to just kind of get a baseline of background, Google searches, right? Who wrote the RFP for this? Was it a collective, or did we use one from the previous year?
So the RFP was written by the audit committee.
Okay.
It's a collaboration between my staff and the audit committee. They went page by page from the RFP and did the RFP. That's the committee's job.
Okay, so it was page by page. Did you have a reference of a previous RFP? Did we use our previous one, or did we use something from somewhere?
No, we used our previous one and we modified that the current RFP.
Okay.
It was modified drastically.
Drastically?
Yeah.
Was
Allison can say it, yeah.
modified. All right.
Vice Mayor can collaborate with that.
Okay. The only reason I'm asking that is because I was curious about provision in there. It was in the RFP, and I just wasn't sure if it's standard, but minimum qualifications
Okay.
section.
What about it?
There was to be, so 7B or 7.5B says to be eligible to respond, the auditor shall have 5 years of continuous operation under the same entity.
Mm-hmm.
Does that qualify if they have a name change for a merger?
So CBIZ has been in business for 1998. They have not changed their names. What happened is that they acquired another organization, but they have been doing business under that name from 1998. If someone just changed, if they acquired someone and changed their name totally into a new name, then that's different. Acquisition does not fall under 7.5.
Okay, so and the reason why I'm saying this is because I actually agree with you. I think if the company is doing well and they grow, they should definitely not be penalized for growth and doing a good job and having a name change or anything like this. So I was wondering what the provision that provision, if it would have excluded anybody from applying.
Only if they changed their entire name altogether and created a new entity, then that would disqualify them.
Right, so when I looked up, well, just because when I looked up CBiz CPAs in Sunbiz, they were previously known as, like you said, Myers, was it Mayer Hoffman McCann?
They acquired several companies. I can't
Did, right,
tell.
but so just,
Sorry.
and again, I'm not discounting that they're probably very qualified and they're probably the best people for the job. I'm sure that's the case. I just want to make sure that when I looked at, they weren't the only ones though who applied. I think there were 3 out of the 5 who applied with name changes.
Acquisitions.
Yeah, with acquisitions and changes. I just want to make sure that maybe we revise that language in the future
Noted.
to make
Yes.
sure that, or make it clear that, basically, even if it's continuous operation, that to make it clear to anybody who may have merged or acquired another property that they wouldn't be excluded and they could definitely be able to participate.
And noted, point noted for the next audit committee evaluation.
Perfect, thank you.
Further commission discussion? Commissioner Seegerstein?
Yes, I agree. That provision, on its face, in the simple reading of the language, would prevent a firm that had changed its name, merged, for example, or acquired and rebranded, from applying on its face. And I think as well that language needs to be changed. It is prohibitive. It is shrinking the pool of potential applicants or proposers. And it is on its face, in the simple reading of the language, is prohibited. It says nothing about how long you've been in business. It's about a name. It's not about a name. It's about a business, an established business, established accounting firm, not about a name.
And
you.
again, point taken.
Ms. Furtado, I mean, what was the reason for that provision?
Well, one of the reasons for that provision is to ensure stability, that these firms are in business and they're stable with their records. That's basically what the standards was for. But like I said, moving forward, it's something noted, it's of a concern, so it can be revised in our next set of proposal.
Yeah, it does sound like that it would exclude some firms that have been in business for 50 years, let's say.
Right, so like I
If they
said, point
simply-
taken, and we will re-examine the language in that section.
You agree, it probably did exclude some firms.
I can't see if it excludes the names, because again, it could be,
Okay,
yeah.
very good. Further commission discussion? Yes, Commissioner Perkins.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Allison, for all that hard
No
work.
problem.
I, too, looked it up on Sunbiz, and it said August 13, 2024 as the date they filed. So I was a little bit confused as well there. Now, why do we have 5 years? I know we want the company to be stable, but would that make a big difference if we say 3 years rather than 5 years?
In the 7.5, the minimum experience, like I said, point noted, moving forward, that's a discussion that the audit committee can change.
Okay, great. I think that's something we should look into.
Yes.
Thank you.
Further commission discussion? Seeing none, let's call the roll.
Commissioner Fezzik,
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Seegerstein Eden,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Poinier,
Yes.
Mayor Harton.
Yes. Item 12 is a resolution.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, appointing blank to the Pompano Beach Police and Firefighters Retirement System of the City of Pompano Beach for a term of 3 years, had term to expire on September 12, 2029, providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second for discussion. I'll go ahead and nominate Carrie M. Justice, District 3, also a former Pompano Beach Police Department member. So Carrie Justice, he's the sole applicant. I'll make the motion to appoint him. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further nominations? Of course not. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Thank you. Item number 13 is a resolution.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, granting the city manager authority during the City Commission's August hiatus to perform and finish such matters as may have been budgeted and authorized, subject to ratification thereafter, providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second for discussion. Mr. Harrison.
Yes, sir. This is an annual event that we have when the commission goes on hiatus, and we're just taking up from last year.
Very good. This is a public hearing. Is there any input from the public on this item? Seeing none, public input closed. Commission discussion. Vice Mayor.
Thank you. I seem to recall last year we came back in September, and I don't remember the details, but there were several items maybe that we had to, as a board, approve that had been signed off on during the August hiatus that we had a lot of questions about. So I have concerns about just approving this again this year at this point, when last year it seemed to be used to sign and authorize things that we hadn't looked at. So I maybe, what are the consequences if we don't do this?
Whatever the item is would just be
Delayed?
belabored.
It would be delayed? Okay.
It would be what? I didn't hear.
Delayed, so it would have to wait until we resume on September 8th. Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Mr. Perkins.
Yes, there's a major issue or something that's going to take place in the month of August. I would like for the city manager to at least contact us so that we're not surprised when we return in September, so that we will all be on the same page and we're communicating. So I just want there to be more communication during the month of August, although we're not here on the dais. But through email.
I am pretty sure that all of you get at least a spreadsheet. I can't recall if it's from the city clerk's office or exactly where it's from, on what went down. Sometimes it's one item, sometimes it's a half a dozen. But you are informed and will continue to be informed during this month.
Okay, well, we're lacking communication on so many different levels, and I just want to make sure that we're all getting the information so that we'll be on track when we return in September. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Fesick.
Thank you. I just had a question. I do remember it being a little bit of a struggle last August when we came back in September. Do you recall how many items or which items were, or how many items that were maybe over a certain volume? Like, I don't want to stop you from doing something that's benign, right? But if it's something that is over a certain dollar amount or over a certain contract term, I think it's something that we need to have a discussion about, other than just allowing you to sign it and then it's done.
If the majority of the commission wants me to ask for permission while you're on hiatus, I try not to bother you while you're on your hiatus, but
Appreciate that.
whatever the commission wants.
Do we have a parameter? I'm trying to think. Kervin, do you remember do you have the list of what was done last time?
I don't have it on hand, but there is a list that can be provided to you as to what was approved during the hiatus of last year.
Okay. I just have some concerns related to that, because I do remember that last year there was a lot of disappointment related to certain items that were, I would say, high interest in the community, and for residents that seem to have been moved along or stepped along, and I think I remember being upset about that at some point.
Well, whatever that was, it came back to the commission, and the commission approved it, so.
Okay, thank you.
Vice Mayor.
Yeah, I think it came back to us and we were told we had to approve it because it was already signed. It was one of those moments where we're told what we have to do because it's already done. And I think that led to frustration. I seem to recall there was an air park issue, maybe something else.
Acceptance of a grant, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah. You
which
betcha.
ended up being approved, but I think there was some public comment and there wasn't really the opportunity for them. They could come out and speak on it, but it didn't matter because it was already done. So I guess I don't see anything urgent. We seem to table things and kick everything else down the road. So I would, at this point, just say let's all take a break in August and breathe, and maybe we'll have a big agenda in September. But if there's something that comes up that's urgent, obviously you can reach out and we can figure out what we need to do. But I don't think we should do this year. Thank you.
Well, Okay. Commissioner Fessick?
So question, I think if it was Air Park grant, was that related to FAA funds?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's probably why I was upset about it, because if we accept a grant using for FAA funds, then it automatically sets a time clock in which we're required to do certain things for a period of 20 years. Which the community was very upset about, the fact that things were going on behind the scenes. And so that forced our hand into making other decisions. So that is a perfect example of how we are locked in based on a decision that's somewhat benign. Once you take one red cent, you're then locked into a 20-year period of which you have to then follow certain rules. So just want to make sure that everybody's aware that those little small things actually have very large consequences. Thank you.
Well, I honestly, I've got no issue with this. I mean, it's, you know, it's, if you read it, during City Commission August hiatus to perform and finish such matters as may have been budgeted and authorized. So any air park grant and project had already been budgeted and authorized, to make a point there. And I mean, he can't go out there and create a new project and just go off into the sunset. It's only for things that have already been approved and moved along by this commission. I understand there may have been some angst, but I don't see any reason to hold things up. But, you know, I mean, that's just my feelings.
Mayor?
He's the city manager, he runs the city, and there's a reason why we give him authority. Now, there may be differences of opinion about that, but he is our city manager. Commissioner Segerson-Eaton.
Yes, thank you. And with regards to the air park, I just want to remind everyone, I'm sure you know that when the FAA says you have to do something, you have to do something. They have the final say over the air park. And they give us grants to do what they want done, or they feel that it's required to be done. So, and again, planned and budgeted prior. So, yes, the city manager has to continue the work that we've put forth. If something comes in, and I'm sure he'll call us if there's something very important. I don't see him creating something. I don't see him going over the threshold that he's allowed to go to. And I think it's sort of short-sighted that we don't allow the city to go on while we, the commission, it's a vacation. The city must go on. Thank you.
Very good. Further commission discussion? Seeing none, let's call the roll.
No.
Sorry, Commissioner Fezzik?
No.
Commissioner Perkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Segerson-Eaton?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fournier?
No.
Mayor Harden?
Yes. Takes us up to item 14, discussion and consideration item for the annual performance evaluation for Mr. Gregory P. Harrison, City Manager. Ms. Senego.
Lisa Senego, Human Resources Director. This item is for the Commission to review and discuss performance and any related merit pay, which would be retroactive and awarded effective February 21. All employees, including the 4 officials that report to the Commission, received a 3.5% COLA on October 1 of 2025. The officials have received either 0, 3, 4, or 5% during these last 3 years, just as information. And the current pay for the city manager is within the top 25th percentile for the 12 city regional comparison group. The city manager has provided accomplishments, and again, this is your time to review.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Senego. Appreciate that. Well, I'd just go ahead and start off. And Mr. Harrison, just to, for a point of clarification, you are not requesting any type of merit increase at this time, is that correct?
That's correct, Mayor.
Thank you. That's what I thought. You expressed that previously. I think you've done an excellent job, and I would make a motion that we go ahead and at least declare Mr. Harrison's done an an excellent job the past year. I would make that motion at this point in time.
I'll second that motion, Mayor.
Okay, been moved and seconded to declare he's done an excellent job over the past year. Discussion. Well, okay, first, this is a public hearing. Is there any input from the public? Please come forward.
Hello, my name is Andy Fox. I'm here as a representative of the fishing village. So I'm here to speak for Beach House, Oceanic, Lucky Fish, Bar Esco, the True Hilton, Gilwin's Ice Cream, and also How You Brewin', Island Water Sports. They all asked me to come here on their behalf to speak in favor of Mr. Harrison. He's been very accommodating. If we ever need anything, he's easy to reach, easy to work with. We all fully support him and feel that the fishing village wouldn't be as successful as it is today if it wasn't for the help of Mr. Harrison. I just want to say that. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Next speaker. Good morning, sir. Thank you for your service.
Forrest Hall, 938 Southeast 10th Court. I'm a resident of Pompano Beach for 44 years now. I've been an employee of the City of Pompano, recently retired, more than 32 years of service as fleet operations manager. My concern is our hiring process. Are we looking to hire the best employees? Apparently not, because Mr. Harrison, his friends, or his son's friend, became fleet manager, which concerns me, with no fleet operations experience. So are we hiring the best qualified people for this city as taxpayers? Or are we just hiring his friends? That's something I'd really, really like to know. Mr. Harrison, you don't really want my opinion. You know, years ago, he calls me on my phone, tells me to mind my own business on something. You know what? You're not a good city manager. And I'm glad you're not asking for money, because you don't deserve it. That's about all I got. Thank you.
Very good. Next speaker.
Elaine Hall, 938 Southeast 10th Court, Pompano Beach, Florida. To Mr. Harrison. When you retire, I think we should hire a cook manager for your position. That's it.
All right. Next speaker.
Morning, Mayor, Commissioners. My name's Michael Rada. Maybe some of you remember me as the building official not too long ago. I was fortunate to have some fine mentors in my life. My high school wrestling coach taught me about hard work and dedication. As a carpenter, an old-timer taught me about craftsmanship, integrity of a trade, and responsibility. Over the years, during hundreds of meetings with developers, contractors, and influencers, they've shared life lessons that have opened my mind to a wide vision of what is possible and have inspired me to be the best I can and never give up on what's in your heart. I have worked over the years with my colleagues and staff and can say without hesitation, they all put their hearts in their work and strive towards excellence. This is out of respect for our city manager. It is a valued accommodation to have his acknowledgement of a job well done. Mr. Harrison has the knowledge, experience, talent, and wisdom that define him as a valued leader for our city. He shares these virtues with staff, consultants, volunteers, and our citizens to help make our city the shining example it has become today. This vision is a rare quality of leadership that produces a successful and meaningful distinction with the morale, inspiration, and ambition of those involved to do the right thing for the right reasons for the good of the public. I am honored to have worked for him. I've always been a student of philosophy, studying the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, William Shakespeare, and Aristotle. Their works are a valuable lesson to this day after centuries of time to show the path of great leadership. Honor, courage, strength, integrity, patience, doing what is right of a virtuous man, and the grace to be a light for our peers. I would suggest some of you study these teachings to understand the value and quality of great leadership. Look upon Mr. Harrison as a resource, a mentor, rather than a scapegoat for personal ambition or ego. Under his tenure, our city experienced a wealth of positive growth, a momentum of hope, and the spirit of great times ahead. Excuses and blame is for cowards, has no place on this board or for any leader to accept. It is a shameful burden for your soul to carry. In closing, I want to say I'm very grateful to have been your building official, Greg. I will hold this valuable memory close to my heart as my legacy in my career. You are a great leader, a great inspiration, and a fine gentleman with a graceful light for our city. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Very nice. Further input from the public?
Hi, good morning. Marissa Barneal. I am a business owner, a woman-owned, family-owned business called Aroma Joe's in Pompano, and I'm here to speak on behalf of Greg Harrison and the person he is and the supporter he is of my business. I've known him for over 8 years now, and if you know him well, you know he always has a cup of coffee in his hand, and he holds a very special place in my family's heart, my sister, my brother, and he's always been a true supporter of us, as well as we've seen how Pompano has really developed in the last 8 years, and I don't think my business would be here without everyone sitting here, but specifically Greg. And I just wanted to come here today and just show my respect for Greg and the support that he shows to my business and my family, and I truly respect what he does in the city as well as everyone here. So I just wanted to say thank you, and thank you, Greg.
Thank you. Further input from the public?
Well, this year is much better than last year. Last year, a lot of personal attack, except that woman said shouldn't say that unpleasant things. Couple of things I want to make clear. I've been here for more than 15 years. My name is David Dye. I live in 520 North Ocean Boulevard. I'm a small investment, real estate investor, and then I suddenly have seen the improvement of Pompano has been doing well. I think the good judgment to say today we should see is Greg Harrison is a good manager. Does his team does a good job? Or does he bring, or his team, or the city, this whole city government bring good things to the neighborhood? I went to downtown Pompano a couple weeks ago, weekend, and I think it's fabulous. It still needs a lot of improvement, but I can see change. Miss Commissioner Perkin, I'm sure your neighborhood is getting better, right? Your neighborhood is getting safer? No? Well, you need to do a better job, right? And then I also
can do that with your help, but yes, I do need help in my district, and I would love to have some help from you as well. Thank you.
Wow. The other thing I really appreciate, I was here last night, people talk about Costco and argue about this is a great business to bring in. We should feel lucky. We should feel fortunate. Big corporation like Costco come to our neighborhood. And the other thing is Commissioner and the Vice Mayor and the Mayor, I wrote a letter to Miss Mayor Harding about Florida, South Riverside. I didn't get your response, but it's okay, you know. But I saw the city is doing the job. It's doing as much as they can. So I really think we should give a congratulations to Greg, and he did a great job. And he certainly got my support. The other thing, please don't have a personal attack this time. What we really should do, have a constructive, achievable goal for improvement, if there's any. That makes sense?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor?
Yes, Commissioner Perkins.
When someone walks up to the podium to speak, sometimes you allow them to call commissioners' names and sometime you don't. What we're discussing at this point is the performance evaluation of the city manager.
Correct.
And Beverly Perkins doesn't have anything to do with his performance. So he performs on his own. I just want to make that clear for the record. Thank you.
Absolutely. Sorry, I didn't know where things were going there, Commissioner. I can't read somebody's mind.
You don't have to reach their mind. What I'm saying is, again, when someone walks up to the podium, and they usually do for a tax on individual commissioners, you usually say to them, you cannot do that. And sometime you do that, and sometime you don't. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate that. I was just trying to point out that I can't read somebody's mind where they're going once they say Commissioner Perkins. Just
I
like
understand that.
I can't.
I understand that, but what you've done in the past.
When somebody starts a
you have
personal attack, that's when I.
Yes, but you have interrupted them while they were talking, and one of the commissioners' names comes up that you tried to protect, you will stop them.
Yes, Commissioner.
Just want to make that clear for the record.
I appreciate your input.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Further input from the public?
Good morning, Mayor, Commissioners, Vice Mayor, Mr. Harrison. My name is Dennis MacDonald, and I'm here to support Greg Harrison. And I'm going to start by telling you, I do have one thing I want to say. I think Mike Rader's testimony was incredibly powerful. Here's the guy who ran the building department and worked with Greg for years and had that kind of support and that kind of sentiment for Greg. I think it's something that we should all take notice of. And Mike, wherever you are, thank you. I really appreciated that. I've known Greg since 2014. I am the artist that did the sculptures on the original Lady Luck. We're celebrating the 10-year anniversary for Lady Luck right now. It's happening right now. I've known Greg, and I consider Greg a friend. I've worked with him. I've seen him in action. And I know there are some people here on the dais that may not agree with me. But I got to tell you, my experience with Greg has been incredible. I've seen him as not only a man of complete integrity and honesty, but drive and possesses the ability to get stuff done. So, Greg, I appreciate the effort and everything that you've provided to our city, the city that I love, and that I have seen significant improvement and change in under your tutelage. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Further input from the public?
Jeffrey Sippis, 3238 Northeast 6th Street. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, and Mr. Harrison. I've lived in Pompano Beach for 15 years, my wife even longer. And my first interaction with Mr. Harrison was 9 years ago after Irma, when my property suffered $100,000 in damage. I had a very negative experience with the senior building department employee regarding permits and filed a complaint with the city manager. Mr. Harrison personally invited me to meet with him and Earl, listened carefully to my concerns, took appropriate action, and it turned out that this employee had a history of similar conduct and was ultimately removed. That experience shows me that Greg Harrison listens, investigates, and holds people accountable. Later, as vice president of my homeowners association, I contacted him about neighboring condos storing vehicles. He directed me to the appropriate departments, and of course, it was resolved. Also, some dumping that was going on around our condo. These are my personal experiences, but they do reflect the kind of leadership that has helped guide Pompano through 118 years. Under his leadership, our city has experienced unprecedented economic growth, secured millions of dollars in grant funding, maintained balanced budgets, 14 consecutive clean audits. He's been recognized by his peers, president of the Broward County Association of City Managers and Administrator of the Year. A few years later, I got to know Greg socially and other city employees at the Chamber Golf League. What impressed me most was the genuine respect that city employees have for him, both professionally and personally. that respect isn't demanded, it's earned. Some say he's paid too much. I disagree. When you consider he oversees a $462 million budget, 1,000 employees, we're getting an exceptional value. Someone in the private sector would receive more for those same responsibilities. And finally, I appreciate that Mr. Harrison chose to have a public evaluation when he could have requested a private one after last year's circus. Commissioners, you're evaluating your city manager, but the residents are also evaluating you. We're watching, we're listening, and on November 3rd, you'll receive your evaluation from the voters. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please, no applause. We don't need that. Next speaker.
Good morning, Mayor Hardin, Commissioners, Mr. Harrison, Roger Gingrich, 1409 Banyan Circle. I've been in Pompano since the early 90s. I've been a business owner here since 2003. Back in the early days, we always went to Las Olas or Deerfield or Coral Springs if we wanted any kind of entertainment. But Mr. Harrison and the vision of prior commissions has really transformed the city into some place that I want to be every day. I hardly ever go anywhere, maybe Lauderdale by the Sea once in a while. But Mr. Harrison and the team that he's assembled, along with the previous commissions that had the vision for what we have today, have made all the difference. On top of that, I would just like to back up everything that Jeff Sippos just said. That's all I got. Thank you. Good job, Mr. Harrison.
All right. Further input from the public? Here comes a familiar face. You're missed.
Aw. Well, good morning. I'm Shelley Bartholomew, as you all know, and I recently retired a year and a half ago after more than 30 years as the executive assistant to the city manager. During my career, I had the privilege of working side by side with 6 city managers. Each one served this city well, but there is one who stands above the rest as an exceptional leader, and that is Greg Harrison. Because of my position, I had a front row seat to the decisions, challenges, and responsibilities that most people never see. I witnessed firsthand what it takes to lead a city, and I can say without hesitation that Greg Harrison is the most competent, innovative, and dedicated city manager Pompano Beach has had. Greg doesn't just manage a city, he lives and breathes it. He genuinely loves Pompano Beach and is constantly thinking about how to make it stronger, safer, and more successful for every resident. He's a visionary who doesn't focus only on today's challenges. He's always planning for tomorrow's opportunities. His leadership extends far beyond our city limits. He's respected throughout Florida and admired by city managers across Broward County. As president of the Broward County City Managers Association during the COVID-19 pandemic, Greg stepped forward with strong leadership when it was needed at one of the most difficult and uncertain times in our history. He helped guide not only Pompano Beach, but also cities throughout Broward County with confidence, intelligent, and unwavering commitment. That is who Greg Harrison is. When others see obstacles, he sees solutions. When others react to problems, he plans for the future. His goal has always been simple: leave this city better than he found it. I love Pompano Beach. I dedicated more than 3 decades of my life to serving this community. And I can honestly say one of the greatest honors of my career was working with Greg. I couldn't be prouder of the leader he is, the legacy he has built, and the future he continues to create for the city of Pompano Beach. Thank you.
Thank you.
Retirement looks good on you, by the way.
I know, your hair looks fabulous.
We miss you, Shelley.
morning, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Tom DeGiorgio, 24 Northeast 24th Avenue, Pompano Beach, Florida. It's my office address. I have some stuff I want to read to you because it's accomplishments, but I got to start by saying, like Shelley, I didn't work with 6, but I worked with 5 city managers very closely. I've respected all of them immensely, but nobody's given more time, dedication to this city, and I've never worked with somebody who's cared more about Pompano Beach than Greg Harrison. I have to put that on the record, and when you hear their folks that work the closest with him speak like that, it means something. But I just want to point out, we hear a lot of things that Greg doesn't do from some of the folks up here on the dais and others that come up. The accomplishments that we've had over the last 9 years are spectacular. Great cities don't achieve extraordinary results by accident. They're built through strong leadership, clear priorities, and strong teams. Greg Harrison brings all of that to the table. I'm going to read a couple accomplishments because I don't think we hear about them enough. We don't toot our own horn. But here's what we've done. In tourism, Pompano Beach earned TripAdvisor Traveler's Choice Recognition Award 2024, 25, and 26. Money Magazine ranked Pompano Beach the #1 U.S. beach vacation in the United States. Utilities Department. Since 2016, Utilities Department has received 43 state and national awards for drinking water, reuse, conservation, wastewater, stormwater, safety, resilience, and public education. Parks and Recreation and events. City programs have earned at least 67 sensational award placements for community events, youth and senior programming, tourism, culture, outreach, sustainability, and innovation. Public safety. Pompano Beach Fire Rescue holds the highest ISO class rating, International Fire Service accreditation, and accredited ambulance service status. That happened under his leadership. Financial stewardship, we already heard about it. 41 consecutive years of national recognition of excellence in reporting and 13 consecutive clean annual budgets with no findings. It's actually 14 in 2026. Redevelopment, we've won awards from the state, city, and others, especially in the Downtown Innovation District, the Atlantic Boulevard Bridge, and other CRA projects. Sustainability, the city is recognized as Tree USA Community for 36 consecutive years, and every year since Mr. Harrison's been here. Infrastructure and design. The Fisher Family Pier, Youth Sports Complex, Youth Sports Field has received engineering and architectural recognition for creating exceptional public spacings. These are all national awards. These are not us talking about ourselves. And the GEO bond, finally, Mr. Harrison leadership brought the biggest GEO bond in the city's history, which created over $181 million worth of infrastructure improvements, and the majority of that went into District 4. Lion's share of that, not the majority. I want to say I'm very proud of you, Mr. City Manager. I'm honored to be your friend, and I'm honored to have worked with you for the last 9 years. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Phyllis Smith, Greater Cayuse City Civic Association, President. I met Mr. Harrison back in 2014. He was hired as the Assistant City Manager then. Now, I am speaking for the Cayuse City Northwest section. Mr. Harrison has always given me sound advice and wisdom on how to lead for my area to get help that we need. Cayuse City has never gone without having what we needed. If we needed something, all I had to do was call Mr. Harrison. I had a serious head injury. I had failed and had amnesia. Time was one of the things I did not have perception of. And I called Mr. Harrison one morning about 1 o'clock in the morning. And he didn't say, "What are you doing? It's 1 o'clock in the morning." He asked me, was I all right? I said, "Yes, why?" And he says, "Well, it's 1 o'clock in the morning." And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that. I thought it was like 9 o'clock. But anyway, I needed police to go to my neighbor's house across the street. She had went in to have a baby. I had called the police about 4 times. No police showed up. So I called Mr. Harrison. In 5 minutes, there were 10 cops at their house, and someone had broken in. And Mr. Harrison has also guided me that I stay on the side of the law with what I'm asking for. Some things I ask for, I realize that maybe that's above and beyond what it should be. He's not as young as he used to be. He probably don't move as fast as he used to. I don't either. But his wisdom is there, is solid, and it's something that I can depend on. It's his guidance that helped me, because I was new, I'm still new at being a homeowners association president, and he keeps guiding me to keep me on the right side of the law. And I need that guidance, I need that wisdom, and Mr. Harrison freely gave it to me.
Thank you for that. Further input from the public?
Good morning.
Morning.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. My name is Madison Carter. For those of you that don't already know me, I am Greg Harrison's daughter. And I am here today to speak in support of my father. My dad did not know that I was going to speak today, but I feel like what I have to say matters. Yes, bias exists. I am his daughter, but I'm also someone who has spent my entire life around the man behind the title of city manager, and I believe that that perspective is important. What I've witnessed is a man who genuinely loves this city. He loves this community. He loves staff. Staff love him. He is well respected. He cares about every project, every challenge, and takes every opportunity to make this city better. Being city manager is not just his job, it's part of who he is. I live in England now, and I make myself wait until after 11 a.m. my time, or after 6 a.m. your time, to call or message him, because his phone is never on silent. He refuses to silence it because he believes that if somebody needs him, he should be available. Whether it's family, friends, an employee, a resident, or any one of you. This is the man that I know. He has dedicated over a decade of his life to serving this city. He has celebrated its successes, carried the weight of its challenges, and invested countless hours trying to ensure Pompano continues to move forward. And though I no longer live here, I have never stopped being proud to call Pompano Beach my home. I have watched this city grow and improve alongside watching my father pour everything he has into helping it succeed. As mentioned, my dad did not know I was going to speak today, but I felt it was important that someone remind you all that behind the title of city manager is a human being. A human being whose philosophy is simple: do good, work hard, and be a good human. From where I stand, my dad does do good. He works very hard, and he is an amazing human. He is also an amazing city manager. He has proven this through years of dedication, success after success, improvement after improvement, professionalism, and a genuine, thoughtful commitment to this city. He is the city manager that answers the phone at all hours, shows up ready to solve any problem, and somebody that never stops believing in the future of our city. So today I ask that you evaluate him the way every public servant deserves to be evaluated. By the facts, by his performance, by the results he has delivered, and by the character, integrity, and leadership he has demonstrated. Please do not evaluate on personal differences, assumptions, or political agendas. I ask the information you share today reflect the same fairness, professionalism, and integrity that you expect from him every day. I could not be prouder to call you my daddy. I love you.
Thank you. Further input from the public?
My first time here
So my name is Silvana McDonald, 1401 North Riverside Drive, Pompano Beach, Florida. I come here to say thank you to you, to the city, for the beautiful job you're doing. Thank you very much for everything. I live here for almost 27 years in Pompano, and I see the city grow beautiful, and I thank you to you and everybody. I hope this meeting is more polite than the last time, because shock everybody. My heart was beating so fast, because it's unacceptable. Respect, respect, respect for everybody. I refuse to come here to speak because I'm from Brazil. My English is not perfect, but I'm going to try my best because I need to stand up for the city and for the city manager. Thank you.
Thank you. Further input?
Sarah Peterson, City of Pompano Beach resident. Mr. City Manager, I want to start by apologizing to you. I had the audacity to submit a sole source proposal to do work in my community, to provide services that have been long needed, financial literacy, business series, communication, building bridges, because when I came back from college, I was told you were the big, bad city manager. I was told you were inaccessible, and all of you did sit up here that I didn't have a right. I couldn't come and speak here. But I think you guys have learned that nobody really tells me what to do. But I want to apologize because you've taken hit after hit because I had the audacity to be a little black girl from the projects of Parkway East to do work in her community. And you took those hits. I want to apologize to you for that. And I want to apologize for the way these people talk to you because they won't do it. I have a hard time biting my tongue with people, but you kind of taught me something. I remember a conversation we had on Zoom, and I was ready to go and attack Commissioner Perkins on a topic that I felt she was wrong, and you were fiercely protective of her. I haven't seen that type of protection of a commissioner from somebody who I know you should want that type of conversations to be had, but you protected her. That says something to me. That says that you're willing to protect the people that they're your bosses, and you got some horrible bosses. So I want to apologize to you for that. I do want to say that, hey, look, I don't agree with everything Mr. City Manager does, but he is, for this commission, the best thing this city could ever ask for. He protects his employees because they are under attack. And I'm concerned about whoever is coming after him. They better have the backbone this man has. Because this commission has taught us that there's no decency and humanity when ego and pride and ambition is standing in the way of the people. So I want to thank you, Mr. City Manager, and I hope you all understand what your job is to do today, and that's to evaluate him, not attack him.
Thank you. Further input from the public?
Delvin King, Pompano Beach. So there was an email that went out that said, from Greg Harrison to Mark, Mark, is there anything that says I have to meet with this individual and pull Mario and his employee Jody? There's also another email going to Greg Harrison and city leadership that says, in June 2020, when they was referencing me, I don't know if Greg remembered this, in June 2020, and this employee said this January 8th. He operated a school at 950 South Cypress Road and organized a march to City Hall. All employees were sent home by noon that day. So I say, and I bring up this to say this. You have respect for some people, but not all people. I needed you for my school. I needed you to have respect for me, and you were not there. You continue to allow city employees to disrespect me. I'm known as the guy that had the protests. I'm known as that individual, and I'm sick of it. If anything, Commission, you need to evaluate the good and the bad. See, the problem is these residents and these certain staff hate when you address the bad. If there's no bad, there's no good. And we got to address the issues that we're having with the city manager. There's some issues, and you're going to have to address it today. Sometimes it felt like you're getting beat up on, but guess what? I got beat up on too. It's plenty of employees in the city of Pompano right now that don't have a voice, that can't come up here and say nothing. And you know, some commissioners, y'all met with employees that they gave you concerns, but you couldn't put their name out there and really address the issue because he was gonna send his people to attack them. You know how this go. You know how the brotherhood go. To be honest, we need a new city manager. Somebody that has no ties to developers, that has no ties to people in this community that's coming here to do a job and go home. That's the problem. And I don't care who don't like it. I don't care if the Collier City or anybody, because Collier City didn't get everything they needed. Y'all go and speak through an association instead of the people. District 5 need to come meet with the people. BSO need to come meet with the people, not a special person or a church or an organization. And that's the problem that we're having here. So do your job and bring all the issues to the forefront and tell him what he's doing and what he's not doing. And if he have any issues, he don't like it, quit. We'll get somebody else. It's other qualified. Y'all think this the only man around here that can run this city? Y'all really think this the only man that can run the city of Pompano? It's plenty qualified people that's around here that can run the city.
Thank you, Mr. King. Further input from the public? Please come forward.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor. Patricia Hawkins Williams, 1565 Northwest 7th Avenue, Pompano Beach, Florida. I came up to say today, I have witnessed a lot of things in this chambers. A lot of things I'm very disappointed in seeing. But I can actually stand here and say, Mr. Harris has always been very professional that I have seen. Mr. Harrison has been sitting here. People from the dais has called him names, have belittled him, disrespect him in every way and fashion there is. And I, for one, I'm disappointed in us commissioners. I expect a little more. But as for Mr. Harrison, I want to say thank you for what you have done for the city of Pompano. I don't know what it is like on your side, but I do know what leadership looks like. I know what disrespect feels like, and I know how to be respectful to someone feels like. Your attitude has spilled in the chambers here now. Everything you do, people are watching. And your attitude that you take between each other, people in the audience are now doing that. Just on last night, I set my stuff on the back seat. I sat there for about 30 minutes in the budget meeting. I got up, I came to put my stuff in there. One of the gentlemen in the back took my stuff off the chair, put it on the opposite chair, and sat there. So I go back and I said, I was sitting there. He said, yeah, but I'm sitting here now. Disrespectful, because it's spilling from the dais. Be respectful to each other. And yes, y'all laugh, y'all grin, y'all sit up there with those stupid grins on your face when you're being disrespectful to others. But it's not nice, it's not cute, nor is it professional. And I'm Patricia Hawkins Williams, and I approve this message.
All right. Any further input?
Morning, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, Mr. Harrison, Mr. Berman. My name is Frankie Chevere. I've been employed with the City of Pompano Beach for 36 years. I'm also honored to be the on-site chief, union representative for the general employees.
Can you pull that microphone a little closer?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I'm happy to report that, contrary with what other people say, the morale of the employees is at all-time high, and Mr. Harrison has to do with that. He's the only city manager that I've seen that checks on all the departments, shakes hands, looks at you face to face, listens to the employees. Greg's a leader who's honest, keeps a line of communication open, and really listens to what employees have to say. His leadership has created a sense of trust throughout the organization, and employees know they are working for someone who cares about them and for the future of the city. Harrison's leadership, and I'm grateful for Harrison's leadership and everything he's done for the employees of the city of Pompano Beach. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good.
Good morning, everyone. I've been looking at that basket for the longest. That belonged to Commissioner Fezzik. And I'm looking at all those files. And I say, you as a commissioner, if you operating out of those files, I can imagine what our city manager operating from. I was here when his first day of work. I was here. I was here when he was elected from this commission. Not the same people, because you know it's gonna be changing. Some of you new, some of you old, and me and the city commission, me and the city manager, we used to bump heads. We used to bump heads. But I'm gonna say this. When I lost my dad, I learned how to deal with the good and the bad. He used to say, and we share the same birthday month, we share the same sign, me and the city manager. And he used to tell me, pull your bootstraps up, soldier. And when I heard his daughter today, my father left me with a lion in my chest. And I know all the time y'all may not agree, but one thing I admire about that city manager, he going to stand 10 toes down for his staff and for this commission. He don't let the residents talk down on you. Even though y'all break our hearts, how you attack them. And all I'm asking for today, for your grace and mercy, as if the Father was supposed to come down here and judge you today. That's all I'm asking. Get your point across, but do it respectfully. Because when y'all walked out the other day, you three, I walked behind you, and I say, what's wrong? That's all I'm asking. Get your point across respectfully. And I thank you for having some grace for me, because I ain't easy to work with, city manager.
Very
I
good.
love you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I approve this message.
Okay, thank you. Further input from the public?
Good morning to everyone in their respective places. My name is Terry Williams, and address would be P.O. Box 771021 in Coral Springs, Florida. I felt a little remiss not to come up. I didn't come here today to speak on the city manager's behalf, but I am. My mother lives here, has been here for decades. She's 89 years old. She's blind. And I have 9 siblings, and I've kind of stopped being in the city as much since I lost my son. And I made a vow to go away from here. But when I'm in Coral Springs, where I live, I would call this man, no matter what. He could be traveling. If I call, I know I'm gonna get a response for any problem that we had. I've always advocated for my mother's district, my district. I grew up in Pompano, I'm 60 years young. I always was concerned about District 4. I had a niece, came here, Dr. Chastity Nakisha Roberts Hunter. She worked with many presidents, and she wanted to open up an urgent care facility here in Pompano on MLK. Because even like my children, even my deceased son, there's nothing to come home to for that community. There's no economic opportunities, developments, nothing. We get high rises and buildings, but we have nothing for them to come to. And most of my children are in the medical field, as was my son and my niece. And when she came here, she got so much resistance. She went back to Birmingham, Alabama, to reopen a facility there because Pompano didn't receive her. So I would call Mr. Harrison about anything. Sometimes I would call him and say, "Are you okay? I saw the mess at the city of Pompano Beach." And I'm gonna say this, I'm a relative of E. Pat Larkins. After Pat Larkins succumbed, this dais and this city turned into an R. Everywhere you go, I even have an investor I deal with in Detroit, and he mentioned Pompano. He said I would never stay there, I would ride through. After looking at all of this stuff is national. It's not just with us in the city. And when we behave the way we do, I know what an evaluation is. An evaluation, like the young man was saying, good and bad. It is when you look at a person and their job, and you look at everything they've done, and you make a decision. They're gonna either get an excellent evaluation, satisfactory, or none. And that is what your job is to do. But I've learned in coming here, because I've been the brunt of it, when you all have a problem with the person, you won't stand up and do right by them. So today you need to step back and put your vices behind you, because we all have them, and judge him based on his merit. Thank you, have a good evening.
Thank you. Any further input? Oh, okay. Pastor Stanley.
Good morning, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and to all of the commissioners, even the lawyers, and of course to our city manager. I know I've heard some name calling, shouldn't be called, but you know, I'm not afraid of anybody. I want to thank you, first of all, Mayor, for celebrating with the Hopewell family on our 80th church anniversary. Thank you for the proclamation. And also thank you for being a part of our dedication for our 3G building. This morning, I'm standing to recognize the outstanding leadership and service of Mr. Harrison. I was sharing with Shelley, it has not been for me, at least my opinion, since the transition of my next door neighbor, Bill Hogred, this city has had such an outstanding commissioner. I know a little bit about leadership. I know to be a city manager is a serious responsibility, involves a lot of challenges. It's essential. City manager must have vision, dedication, commitment to the community. Someone made an observation, obviously they know nothing about leadership, that because Mr. Harrison decided not to receive a raise, that somehow that indicated that he didn't consider himself worthy. It's the exact opposite. I've been serving at the Hopewell Missionary Baptist Church for over 36 years. And raises is not something that you're concerned about when you have love for your church, and in this instance, when you have love for the community. So that is actually something to be commended for, as opposed to try to be criticized for. So I want to thank Mr. Harrison for his exceptional work. It's been very exceptional. He has provided outstanding leadership, but he has not done it without the advice and the assistance of this dais. And somehow, sometimes we divorce ourselves from what the city manager is doing. It's a direct reflection on the commission. You all are being celebrated when you hear residents come in and talk about the relationships that they have with Mr. Harrison. You're being celebrated when they talk about the advancements, the achievements of our city. You're being celebrated when the conversation comes up. Contrary to what some may believe, Pompano is by far one of the best places to live. I was born and raised down the street, West Hollywood, and I've been in the city again almost 37 years, and there's no place like Pompano. And I know I came here last night, stayed all night long, came back this morning, and I'm gonna have to ignore that just for a few moments. Because I need to say this, based on the improvements that has been rightly listed, Mr. Harrison has always been professional. He's always been a man of integrity. And I don't think his dedication and service should go unknown. We want him to know that we see him. We want him to know that we love him, we appreciate him. They were talking about the phone calls that they give to Mr. Harrison and how he responds. I'm a part of that same conversation. I can recall calling him when he was ill. He wasn't feeling the best. And that was when, as someone alluded to, the Tiger Roar Club, which the late Epat Larkin is one of the founding members, we hosted a celebrity game, pastors versus politicians. Of course, our mayor participated. And they provided for us the security that we needed. So I just want to say, I don't know all of the drama that has been happening here on the dais, along with the dispersion remarks that's been given toward our city manager, but I will say this, anything less, in my opinion, of a majority vote would be an indictment against this dais.
Very good, thank you, sir. Any further input from the public? Let's wrap up the public.
Good morning. I am here today not only as a resident of the city of Pompano Beach.
Your name?
Tammy Good, but also as a proud employee of this organization, resident of city of Pompano Beach. I'm also someone who has had the privilege of working under the leadership of our city manager, Mr. Greg Harrison. I felt it was important that during his evaluation that you also hear from us that work alongside him every day. As you know, Greg serves many roles, one of which is to serve the hundreds of employees who in turn serve the residents of this community. We see a side of his leadership that sometimes the public often does not. We see the countless hours, the difficult decisions, the quiet conversations, the mentoring, the encouragement, and the unwavering commitment to doing what is in the best interest of this city. The progress this city has experienced over the past several years did not happen by accident. It required vision, collaboration, perseverance, and a willingness to modernize while maintaining fiscal responsibility. Those efforts have positioned our city well for the future, and our city manager and the people he leads, all of us, I speak for my colleagues, have played a significant role in that success. We all share a common purpose, and that is to serve the city and these residents. We may not always agree, as you've heard today, but we can and should always choose to respect one another and treat each other with dignity. Professionalism and respect, those qualities strengthen not only our relationships with one another, but also the public's confidence in this local government, and you heard that today as well. Greg is a man of integrity, humility, intelligence, and genuine compassion. I was hopeful to have written an original speech today, but I'm sure you've heard a lot of repetition in what I'm saying and what other people have spoken, which just validates to the man that Greg is. He has challenged me and my colleagues to grow professionally. He's trusted us to do our jobs and always treats everyone with fairness and respect. That is the kind of leadership that inspires people to give their best every day. And I consider it an honor and a privilege to serve this city under his leadership. Thank you, Greg.
Very good, thank you. All right. At this point in time, we're going to have to take a brief recess. Jared Moskowitz is with us here. Thank you. Yeah, it's a recess, because but this is the purpose of the recess. Yeah, Congressman Moskowitz came to town to give us a big check, and so yeah, that's what this is about. It's great to have you here, sir. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mayor and Vice Mayor and City Commissioners and the Manager and City Attorney. It's good to always be in Pompano Beach. I'm usually in Pompano Beach. I'm with my kids either at Top Golf or my wife is happy that the Peking Duck House is back open. But I usually go to Gianni's. Gianni's has the best garlic rolls in the country, by the way. Should be like the official garlic roll of Pompano Beach. No, it's always good to be back, and so I'll be quick because I know you guys are, in a commission meeting from yesterday, and I remember what those days are like. And so, real quick, we have a check which you cannot actually cash this one. You already have the money electronically, but we have a check for $850,000.
Yeah.
That we were able to secure in the federal budget, and this is to make the East Coast Railway and Bright Line train track safer. The 6-foot fence that these funds are going to help build will undoubtedly save lives. Unfortunately, too many people have been killed on or near the tracks, and so this project is just a straightforward investment in safety designed to stop people from accidentally or even intentionally, obviously, entering an active rail corridor. The rail safety will start, helps, we can get there by doing prevention. And once someone is on the tracks, obviously a train doesn't have enough time, unfortunately, to stop. So keeping people away from the track is how we save lives, and this is the kind of just basic infrastructure investment that makes a real difference. And so we are happy, obviously, to present this to the city of Pompano Beach, which continues our commitment to the city over the last 3.5 years since I've been in the legislature. So it's always a pleasure to be with you, and I don't know, I stand ready for any questions you may have.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Any questions for the Congressman? Of course, we're going to get a big picture here also, right? Let's all gather down here.
Hold the check up high.
Let them gather down. We got this. It's first.
Oh, yeah. We're flats today, so nobody felt so tall. I know, I wear flats today.
In a room like this.
So where's Winnie, Suzette, Fernand? Fernand in the back together. good for you. That's not
He
a
said
bad idea.
he said we're, I said, where do you want to go? He said, be on it, no question.
If I can get these guys to adjourn, maybe we'll see
There you
this.
go.
Good, good, yeah. I know it's-
Just can't cash it. Yeah. Unfortunately, can't take it. Direct deposit only.
That's okay. All right. Here we go. All right. Let's go ahead and call this meeting back to order. Thank you for the brief recess. All right. We were on public input on this item. Is there any further public input? Looked like it was about finished. Anything further? Nope. Okay, that's it. Public input closed. Now we move on to commission discussion. Commission discussion. Anyone? Commissioner Segerson-Eden?
Thank you, Mayor. I moved to Pompano in 1989, and literally there was pretty much nothing here. We generally would go up to Boca, Meisner, to have brunch, dinner, lunch, church, whatever. And through the years, we've grown so incredibly. Slowly, 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 we had a long lull where nothing really happened. But since about 2010, 15, slowly we started growing, rejuvenating. And like some of the speakers have said, we have turned into an incredible place to be. Florida's warmest welcome, if you will. The choices we have for the restaurants, the beautiful renovation of the beach, the $181 million general obligation bond that I went out and walked and went to meetings and advocated for it, and those, and with the city behind us, with the literature, I was able to knock on doors, and the residents of the city voted to pay for it, which is an incredible achievement. That same year, I recall that a number of other cities had bond issues on their ballots, and they didn't pass, but ours did. So that was a huge improvement to our cities. Overall, the residents, the quality of life for our residents, the new fire stations, the new parks improvements and field improvements, et cetera. Drainage roads, all of some things that we don't see, but nonetheless add to the quality of life. And something like that you can't do without good leadership. It takes a want to. You gotta want to get out there in August and knock on doors 6 hours every day or 8 hours every day. You gotta want to. You gotta want to improve your city. You gotta want to because you got someone to follow. You have a great leader to follow. And so my point is that Mr. Harrison is in great measure the reason we have the Pompano Beach that we have today. And it is great. So, you know, hey, am I perfect? No, I'm not perfect. Nobody is. We know that. And the easiest thing in the world that a person can do, the easiest thing is to cut somebody down. Oh, look at them. I don't like the way they dress, or I don't like the way they sound, or I, think they don't know what they're talking about. The easiest thing in the world to do is to put somebody down. But it is the true measure of someone with integrity and someone who's a man is the person that stands up and recognizes accomplishment, achievement, intelligence, want to. And since I've been elected, vibe here at the city of Pompano Beach with all the employees, with all the department heads, has been great. And if I had to I'm evaluating Mr. Harrison, yes, he's been a great leader, and it's been great to work under him. I could not have accomplished the things that I've accomplished in my district without Mr. Harrison. I say, I need lights. We have no lights. No lights in Leisureville. No lights in North Kendall Green. Mr. Harrison recognized that that was a need. It would benefit the community by reducing crime, beautifying the neighborhood, making our streets safer. He found a way to get it done. And that was a huge accomplishment. So, Mr. Harrison, thank you for your leadership. I look forward to continuing on for 2, 4, 6 years maybe, with you at the helm for as long as you'd like. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Further, Commissioner, Vice Mayor, then Commissioner Smith.
Thank you. So I appreciate so many of your friends and even your family being here today. I mean, their words really were touching. You are clearly a very good friend and a very good dad. And when it comes down to it in life, that's truly what actually matters. So I hope that made you feel good, because you deserve that moment. And your daughter almost made me cry, because I know that feeling of love and respect for your father. There's nothing like it. So I hope you heard your friends here today and how much you mean to them. Good. There are also some paid consultants and freelancers that were among the audience. So I don't think that should go unsaid for the public that is listening, because that is part of our job here to point things like that out. And my job is to evaluate your performance over the last year or so as our city manager. And the way I see it, this board is in desperate need of a leader. Someone who can lead and show how to treat everyone equally with respect. Someone who's willing to broker compromise, and instead of relish kind of the divide and the theatrics. And it's a real opportunity here. I tend to think of challenges as opportunities, because it's the only way you can do it. And leaders lead not when it's easy, but when it's challenging. And we are certainly in challenging times as a city and a board. So I look to you this year to come up with solutions that are going to get us through this. I think the budget session we had and the way we dealt with budget was a good example of how to do that. I think I'm gonna look to you to show up, be in the community, and be out there listening to residents also. It seems there's a good relationship with business owners, but there's residents here need a voice also. And we are that voice, but I think you need to hear them too. And I also hope that we can work a little bit on process and communication this year, because I think there is some different perspectives about communication and respect and information that we've heard over the last year. So maybe it's a different set of skills that is required this year, but I'm hopeful that for this board and for this city that we can figure out ways to move forward together. And like I said, who cares about this stuff in reality? What's most important is your friends and family absolutely adore you, and that is, I'm glad that you had that experience in this moment here today. Thank you.
Very good. Commissioner Smith.
I went through the evaluation form and just want to kind of highlight the different areas on the form. My relationship with, or Greg's relationship with the relating to the city commission, I just want to say that when I became a commissioner, Greg gave me direction on how to report issues. Him and I established a way to get answers to my agenda, and it's been working. I read my agendas for 2 days, I study, and then I always have some kind of questions. I get them to Greg, and within an hour, I'm getting answers back from department heads. And that has been phenomenal for me to be up here and to come to a commission meeting already prepared. And thank you to you and your staff for taking care of that. And that's your initiative, and that's worked well for the two of us to do that. And reporting issues, anything that I report in District 5 or anywhere, I forward it to Greg, ask him to get involved, and it's fixed. Just like Rhonda said, from anywhere from lighting to potholes to golf course trees laying on the side and canals being full of debris, you take care of it. And you know who to call, and immediately it's taken care of. And I did the communication. It made me look good, but you're the one that did all the work, and your staff, and I appreciate that. Fiscal management, oh my gosh, 14 consecutive years of good audits. The property values that Pompano has experienced under your leadership. We all of us that own property in Pompano Beach need to take our hat off to your leadership skills to move us forward in that. Communications, I find that whether it's verbal or written, your communications are detailed and easy to understand. So a simplistic approach to me is the easiest way, and you do that, and you're able to take complex stuff and explain it to me. So I appreciate that also. The only thing that I would have to give advice to you, let me see if I finished all of them. I'll just end with that. The only thing that I'll say for future goals, because I've been trying to learn this too, pause before responding to controversial comments from controversial people. Breathe in, breathe out. Thank you for what you do, Greg. I appreciate you.
Very good, thank you. Further commission discussion? Well, Commissioner Fessick, go ahead.
Thank you. Greg, I want to applaud you for putting this on the agenda because I know that you had fear it would be theatrical, and I promised you I wasn't ever going to imagine there would be theatrics. I applaud staff and your friends and family for coming and speaking on your behalf. As Vice Mayor said, that is what matters most in your personal life. It is what matters most, that you have a good circle of people around you, lift you up and support you. I would echo that communication, again, has still something that can be worked on. I'm excited that in some instances we have improved slightly on communication, and in others we have not. Hey, any step forward is a step forward. I want to make sure I'm clear that I heard from many people in the audience during commentary. There was a common thread between what I've seen on social media and the narrative that the CRA has had and the narrative that some of our meetings have had related to people who are or have been paid consultants, freelancers, people who are in positions of boards, power, anything that circles around things that are happening within the city. The common thread when it comes to anybody who has any just differing points of view on anything, and this is not just related to Mr. Harrison, this is related to pretty much anything in the city, asking the tough questions or asking for answers is somehow negative or is somehow a personal vendetta. I assure you that is not true. I don't have anything personally against Mr. Harrison. I don't have anything personally against anybody up here. This is the job that we were elected to do, and it means oversight. And we are dealing with a budget that is almost $500 million. It's important that we are asking the right questions. It's important that we are doing our due diligence, and we're making sure that the only people that we can direct as commissioners, as a board entirely, are doing the things that they are supposed to be doing. More importantly, that the people underneath them doing the things that they're supposed to be doing. I'm not coming after staff, I'm not coming after this is an evaluation based on history of the past year and what I'd like to see moving forward. So I'm going to keep it pretty high level because I don't need to, I brought files, and this is not related to this necessarily. I made a quick list of some things that I have seen as concerning over the past year. And it's a pretty quick list. We've had residents come up to us with code compliance issues. Some people felt like their code compliance issues were being handled in a fair fashion, and other people felt like they were targeted based on having an opinion that didn't align with the collective. I've heard that for years, even before being elected, that there were people who have come and said that they felt targeted. And I know that our team does a great job but I will say that I personally have some rather harrowing experiences of some people saying to me that they felt like they were targeted. And they felt like they were targeted not from somebody, one staff member, but from the head down. Crosswalks. I'm never going to get off this one. At Northeast 5th Street and A1A, I know we have a safety issue. And I'm very happy that in other districts, people are getting their questions answered and their problems solved. And for whatever it takes, I really would love to make sure we could have that safety issue handled, because I do not want the city to be opened up to any possible, I don't want anybody to lose their life, number one, but I don't want the city to be opened up to any sort of issues related to somebody getting hit there. I don't want any loss of life. These crosswalks are so important that we need to do something. I'm going to try to go in order, but it's no secret that I've had questions related to the McNabb House, related to ownership of it, the way that it's been handled through CRA and the city on both sides, because when you look at these options, sometimes it's easy to separate them from CRA to city, but the reality is that there's still a lot of interconnected work between the two. And my big issue here is, I'm going to just list the rest of these things, and I'm just going to do it with a couple bullets. But the reason I'm asking for this is because I want it on record that these are all issues that one person cannot handle on their own. This is not something that I can dig into on every issue. And I wanted to thank the Vice Mayor for something she said yesterday during our budget meeting. Doing the research, looking. Mr. Harrison, there are some very serious concerns that don't just stem from your office, but have implications beyond your office and into our city attorney, into our city clerk, into further down the line. I'm going to start with property sales and purchases and property transfers. I think we need to look into that. And I'm not saying when we look into that, I'm not just talking about you, I'm saying I am at this point asking and almost begging for some federal or state oversight to take a deeper look and maybe pay an auditor to do a deep dive into some of these issues. Our OHUI program, like a deeper look at that. Looking into our contracts, some of whom have very interesting implications, either former employees that are now hired as consultants that don't even live in the country, or that are hired back. I'd like to look at some of those numbers. Contracts that are executed without board approval in some cases. Text and social media. I want to jump on this. We have a strategic marketing team, and I have made it very clear over the past year that our marketing team, it seems in many cases, through direction of I'm not sure who, but ultimately it all rests on your shoulders, as you told me in an email. To hold anybody accountable, you told me to hold you accountable. So it seems very, very one-sided when I see a lot of press related to certain commissioners who ask questions or have any sort of pushback. I now understand what all those residents who have had questions about code compliance or feeling like they were targeted, I fully understand that feeling, and I do it on a public forum. Speaking of attacks, when I was blocked from attending budget meetings last year, even though I had made previous engagements and previous arrangements with staff to call in because my husband was receiving an award and giving a talk that had been previously scheduled well before I was even elected. I changed my flight because it was not appropriate for me to be able to attend a CRA meeting remotely, but I was told by staff that I could attend a commission meeting remotely, and it was because it was an extenuating circumstance. I'm not going to argue the details or whatever from that, but if anybody wants to say it's only medical allowed, well, another commissioner went away and it wasn't a medical issue for her. That was allowed. That time, under your watch, not only was I blocked from attending the meeting remotely after I had called in, but during the meeting, and I was blocked from the second meeting. And during that time, there was a coordinated effort, essentially led by our mayor, to speak of me while I was gone, criticize that I had spoken out related to the FOIA request and the research I had done. And because I had literally read from a piece of paper and said, these things are a concern, I was attempted to be censured, and that failed. I don't feel that that's good management, because at some point, if somebody's not there to defend themselves, I have actually stopped from saying several things, Mr. Harrison. When you were not sitting in that chair, I said, oh, I had some things to ask Mr. Harrison. I will wait until I get to see him in person. I have stopped, and I have done that. Recently, I've been digging further into the MDA, how that was generated, which I know it was before my time. In digging through all of these things and the things that we are obligated to through the MDA, there are other facets of this that come into play. How certain ordinances or changes in our city's government were enacted, how certain staff members moved in certain ways, how different, it's like a gigantic orchestra, probably the best way to explain it. If you see one piece, it looks benign, but when you see the whole thing, it's more than one note. It is a symphony. It is actually a masterpiece, the masterpiece of how it's been put together. I mentioned yesterday lawfully awful, and I mean it. When you talk about theatrics, I'd like to talk about the theatrics of what happened to me last July, when you or our city attorney didn't prohibit me being served on the dais. And it was clearly a coordinated event based on the video that I received and the actual documents I received. Conveniently timed. I have questions related to the election ballot questions and how they were displayed during our election last year, previously to being elected. I'm sorry, 2024, previously to being elected, how they were displayed within our city commission, our city parks and early voting locations. I say this because this is all about processes and procedures and the things we are doing as a city. And when you talk about integrity, integrity means honesty, strong moral principles, and wholeness. It comes from a Latin word meaning entire or complete. We have to look at the complete picture. I'm not attacking Mr. Harrison by any means. I am going to say that I believe we do need oversight into some of these things. There are some issues I have related to staff interactions with us. And I brought it up before and I didn't have the email on me. So I went back and found it. Mentioned during DC's review, our internal auditor, that I would have expected that our internal conversations, just like I would, unless he needed something, of course, were ours. I know that DC, well, I don't know if DC blind copied, but it wasn't showing on this email. But when he sent me an answer to my questions, which I'm very grateful for. He did a very good job in being as complete as possible. All of a sudden, there's a no forwarding, but it says from Greg to Suzette. Were you aware of this? And then from Allison to Suzette and Greg, no, I was not advised about this request either. There's a group response from Greg saying, DC, I respectfully request that you advise this group, blind copy is fine, when you receive inquiries of this nature from an elected member. Thank you. After that, DC said, here's what it was, in furtherance of that request, here's the follow-up response. And then that was since forwarded from that blind copy group from Suzette to Kim Briesmeister. I understand when I'm asking about TIF split, when I'm asking about things, but this request was routine. And this is just one of very many sort of interaction emails that I have read, or even before I was sworn in. I've mentioned before that I felt a little bit like the cards were stacked against me. And I went back and I started looking at those early emails, and before I was even elected, there is staff and consultants already working seemingly against me as a representative of the people who elected me. So, with that, I have one last thing about management. It's been raised before that I've had many, many issues with our consultant firm working for both the city and the CRA. In one of my long emails, one of them, back when we were discussing a project off of Atlantic, proposed project at that time, there was an email thread from one of our consultant co-principals. In that email, it was very informal, hi text, hi this, whatever, outlined a very specific outcome of what our consultant would like to have happen. I want to introduce you to so-and-so, I want to help make this thing happen. Here's the documentation, complete with a document packet, PDF, and a pre-written letter that just had to be put on letterhead. That got forwarded to his assistant. His assistant put it on his letterhead, he signed it, and then he went forward and did exactly what our consultant asked. That's an email thread that anybody can go find. The question has been for a long time, who is running the city? And that's just one very concrete piece of many smaller pieces that leads me to continue to question that. There are some issues related to Nancy Canal that I want to bring up because it's just one of several things. Property ownership, McNabb House, McNabb Park, contracts, consultants. This is not just Mr. Harrison, this is also, it breaches the line into legal. But this oversight, we have to have better communication with our residents because there is a missing piece sometimes when information is not provided in a timely fashion. And I know Ms. Hall was here and was unaware of, I think, some of the things, but she's had a request for, I think, open for almost 26 years at this point. And it's a pretty simple request. And she's shown documentations, and she's had many meetings with mayor, with former mayor, with staff, with neighborhoods. And we still don't have a very simple answer to her question as to why certain things are being done and why, on property that is clearly city easements. This is the type of stuff that's just housekeeping. So I'm not going to really go any further than that, but we have some contract authority failures. We have dual role. We need to have positioned a little bit more clearly, which thankfully we are doing through our budget. I would like to see more of less of a stalemate, more of communications happening. Records production, the FOIA requests that are that were provided before and are now blocked. When I need to do work, and I know that many people, that's why I brought this does not even begin to show the amount of documentation that I have gone through and or have filed, organized. This is just a visual representation so you can see some of what it have. And if you want to ask me a question about anything afterwards, I'll pull the file and we'll talk about it. That was more so about the respect that we have earned up here. I'm not disrespecting anybody. I always say please and thank you. But I will do my job and hold people accountable for the decisions that they make while they are in positions of power. As far as fiscal management, I think we opened a can of worms with some of that yesterday. And that goes beyond just Mr. Harrison. It goes into a lot further implications. I think this is going to be my last one. So we have interesting dynamic between our construction projects, procurement processes, engineering, and I have heard from multiple staff members, current and previous, some of whom have called me almost crying. And while I understand, as somebody who has worked in business before and has managed people before, I understand that not everybody is going to leave happy. You can take that with a grain of salt. When certain people are either still working or have recently decided to leave or have left years ago, and they come to you and you have the same patterns of behavior across multiple departments, that becomes a pattern of behavior that is worthy of looking into. And so what I will say is, Mr. Harrison, I think we've determined that you have obviously done a lot of great things for the city. I also think that there's room for improvement at this point moving forward. I am very grateful that you decided to not seek a raise, simply because obviously in this year with our tax reform and all the things, every department is taking a hit. And so it is a noble and honorable thing that you have decided to do the same. So like I said, I can point out the things where I see room for improvement, or I see not necessarily problems, I call it, or failures. I call them, again, they're opportunities to do better. But they're important to point out so that they don't just get, I don't want to have a long report. They're important to point out during a review so that you can go back and look and just down those things. And I'm happy to sort of provide deeper context at some point in time. But I will be, I did file in April of this year with the Supervisor of Elections related to the election, some election documentation, waiting for a determination still. And I will be filing a separate document with the OIG, and there will probably be more to come. But I would just like us to make sure that we do better and we do what's right for the residents, not have a campaign against people who are just trying to seek truth. Because that is integrity. That is having a backbone. Doing the work, showing up, and saying the things that are not popular. It's the right thing to do, and I'll do the right thing, and I'll still be kind and courteous to the people who I think maybe have lost their way. Thank you.
Very good.
All right, Mayor, it's my time.
Okay, Commissioner Perkins.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Well, it sounds like this is really about Greg Harrison and Beverly Perkins from the audience, so let me just say that I've been in, well, we all say, but I am also born and raised in Pompano, still living in the same community, the same house. And I've been coming to these city commissioner meetings for 43 years. And I've never seen the city in this condition as far as communication and the disconnect. I've seen a lot of city managers, a lot of mayors, a lot of commissioners come and go. I knew pretty much all of them. And all that I want is better communication from our city manager. Now, I have a list of 26 items I was going to read of things that need improvement and things that have been neglected in my district that I've been asking for. And I choose at this moment not to go through all of those because I'm sure the city manager knows what it's about. I've had several people ask me, how have you endured this on this dais so long? Disrespect on every level. I don't take it personal, number one. Number two, my job is to serve the community. I don't care what I go through, I don't lose my focus as to the things that need to be done in District 4. So, Greg Harrison and I have been through, been down a roller coaster. We've had some good moments, some bad moments. And I like to believe that we can still work together. I was listening to Commissioner Smith down there sing when she calls, she gets some of these things, and I'm like, gosh, I wish that was me. I wish I could call and do the same, but it's not like that for me. I would hope and wish it could be, but regardless of what I say and what I do, I know my pastor said to me, be nice or something he said, and I'm like, all I can do is tell the truth. All I can do as an elected official is tell you my experience, whether you like it or not, or whether it's true or false on your part, but all I can do is tell you the truth of what I've experienced. And what I've experienced with Greg is good and bad. We've had some good days, we've had some bad. And I'm still willing to work with Greg to improve our communication. And we've tried several times. You know, we've been back and forward now. We've been boxing a little bit, so. I'm willing to work with you, and I always have been. And one thing I've always said to you, Greg, I said, Greg, you know what? I know you like me. I've always said that to you. There's somebody in your ear. And I've said that to you, and I believe that. I really personally don't think you have an issue with me, because all we're trying to do is improve this city. That's the bigger picture. We're just trying to make a difference in this city. We're trying to make our city the best ever, on every level, in every area. And basically, I'm willing to work with any and everybody on this dais. Now, it's easy to sit in the audience and say, well, you all shouldn't be acting like that on the dais. That's so easy to say. You have no idea what we endure in that building over there on the 4th floor, behind the scenes. You have no idea what we experience before the meetings start. You have no idea what we're lacking before the meeting starts. You have no idea the information we've not been given before a meeting start. And then you want to know, why are we sitting up here acting like this? I don't think we're doing it because we want to. It's just that there's a lack of communication. And it's easy to sit back and judge. So I think everybody up here represents a district. And everybody wants to serve in the best way and the right way in their district. And when you do that, everybody's not going to like your way or whatever. But the majority of us up here, we care about our districts. All of us care about Pompano. But it's our districts that are very important, that need different things from other districts. So Greg, in your performance evaluation, let's give it another try. We've been going back and forth for about 10 years, but we've had some good and we've had some bad. I'm not saying I can't work with you. I've never said that. I just need information for my district, like you're giving the other commissioners. That's it. I have projects that have been out there forever. And a lot of those problems, well, the main one is what, Martin Luther King in 16? That's a safety for me. And it's been out there for like 6, 7 years. I'm just waiting on a traffic light, and Broward County has approved it. There are so many accidents at that intersection. Just forget about Beverly. Just think about that traffic light that the people need. That's my concern. So there are a lot of times I have to get things done in my department through other people. I mean, in my district through other people, because I know that you probably serve them better than me. So with that being said, I would like to say for your performance evaluation that you need to do a lot of improvement on connecting and communicating with the commissioners. Even when we're in a commissioner meeting, I like to see you connect with us more, talk with us, interact with us more when you're sitting here on the dais. Because the more we learn, the people in the audience learn as well. So you have a lot of knowledge that we need to know, help move this city along. And that's my performance evaluation, is just more communications. Thank you.
All right. Well, I've got a couple of some things I just need to. I've got a bunch of letters that were sent to me from folks in the community, business owners. I mean, I've got Adam Adachi from Old Town Square, Robert Wire, former GM of the casino and chairman of Shipwreck Park, Luma Shakas, LMR Restaurants, the Oceanic, Sean Kotzen, Gilwins, Tony Spadacia, former Waste Management representative, Jeff Wolf, I think he's current chamber president, or former, one or the other, Chris Brown, Elaine Fitzgerald. I mean, they all sent me letters extolling, Greg, your virtues. Thank you for that. I just want to put that on the record. Also, I've got one here I need to read. And this is from Roy Rogers. He's sorry he couldn't be here. He's not in the best of health, but he's still alive and doing well, and he thinks the world of you. And he sent this letter to me, the Honorable Rex Harden, City of Pompano Beach. Support for Greg Harrison. Dear Mr. Harden, throughout my career, I've learned that successful organizations are built on more than sound financial decisions or strategic planning. They're built on trust, relationships, and leadership. That's why I'm compelled to write in support of Greg Harrison. A city manager's job is about much more than overseeing operations. The best executives create confidence among employees, elected officials, residents, and the business community. They understand that lasting success comes from bringing people together and building relationships built on respect and credibility. Greg has demonstrated that ability. He is professional, approachable, and committed to listening before acting. He understands that businesses want more than regulations and policies. They want a partner who values collaboration and open communication. In business, as well as the Navy, I've found that one of the greatest accomplishments any executive can achieve is earning the trust of the people they serve. Relationships create opportunities, strengthen communities, and lead to better decisions. Greg Harrison has earned that trust through his professionalism, integrity, and genuine commitment to connecting with people. Those qualities are essential for effective leadership, which is why I'm proud to support him. As a retired United States naval officer, it is my privilege to ask you, Mayor Harden, to present this command coin, right here, command coin, to Mr. Harrison. Within the Navy, a command coin is a meaningful symbol of recognition, respect, and appreciation, traditionally presented to honor exceptional service, leadership, and commitment. I can think of no more fitting way to recognize Greg for the trust he has earned and his dedication to the City of Pompano Beach. Thank you, Roy Rogers. Very, very nice. I'll give this to you now. Now, on to your evaluation. As I've said previously, I evaluate you every day, and we interact and kind of discuss your performance pretty much on a daily basis. I don't need to sit here and do it. I've made the motion that I think you've been exceptionally effective throughout the past year and prior to that. You know how I feel, and you know that I expect a lot from you, and as you do your staff. And it's a great organization we have here, and it delivers true results for us as elected officials and the residents. So thank you so much for that. I really mean that. Thank you for all you've done throughout the years here in Pompano Beach, and I hope that continues. All right, anything further?
Mayor, I'd just like, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
2 or 3 things. So, Commissioner Fessick, you pointed out the project on A1A. Commissioner Perkins, you pointed out the project on Martin Luther King, indicating that I'm the reason that that's not getting done. The reason that those 2 projects haven't progressed is because we need you to approve the CCNA contracts so that we can use professional services to complete the information to the entities that we need to apply for and get approval for. So once that's done, we'll progress with those and get on down the road, and everybody will be happy that way.
Mr. Harrison?
So yes, ma'am?
I just have a question. Does CCNA, is that required for purchasing a $5,000 or $3,500 sidewalk or a flashing light?
That's not approved.
That's all I'm saying. Thank you.
It's not approved. The design of A1A on the crosswalks, everything has been designed that will be approved, but we just need to have those professional services awarded, and we can't award them without your approval of the contracts that we wound up with a 3-3 vote on. So the other thing is, in that list of accomplishments, there was a lot of individual mentions of events. And it occurred to me that we didn't really say what the total
yearly attendance was. We'd never done it. So we pulled all this together. And for the record, everything that's on there, from Parks and Recreation special events to amphitheater concerts, cultural affairs facility events, Green Market, Old Town Untapped, Jazz Fest, all of these things down through the year, 173,978 folks attended those events. That's huge. That means the restaurants, the bars, the car rentals, the airfares, the hotel nights, everything that you can think of when people come here to spend money. It's not just in Pompano Beach, it's in Broward County. We've made a huge impact on that. The other thing, to drive home, I am certainly not going to take individual credit for everything that's been done the last 10 years. But I feel like I have led a lot of this and made it happen. And because of that, each of you, with all the other residents in the city, your net worth has increased a lot because of the increase in property values. I'm not going to read these individually off, but just up here on this body, the net worth has gained anywhere from 70% to 107%, double. One place, 264% increase. This is since 2018. I'll pass this down and each one of you keep those. But we're helping every resident in their own net worth by more than double on all of these things that we're doing. And if you have a problem with the way that we're communicating or how we're going about doing the business, then please, please talk to us. We come up here and we hear these general statements about not being happy, but then that's it. There's no communication back individually to get down to the nitty-gritty of what you really want and what you need. And we're here to do that. I will do my dead level best to make sure that everything gets answered and that you are happy with the way that this city is being managed. So, please, back and forth, communicate back with me. Okay? Thank you.
Very good. Yeah, we've got other stuff to do. Yeah, there's a motion on the floor.
We didn't do reports.
Commissioner Fessick?
Mr. Harrison, I am a little bit confused here. This is your evaluation, and while I understand that you can talk about individual or overall property increases, what you just handed us is odd. Your performance review and your evaluation has nothing to do with any of our investments personally, in our own personal lives. Your performance review has nothing to do with that. Performance review over the past year is about communication, is about how you've done your job, not how well we've made good choices in investing in our futures. I've heard it mentioned a couple times that theatrics or personal attacks or vindictiveness, this little sheet of paper, you took something professional and you turned it personal, and that is offensive to me. Thank you.
Commissioner Perkins?
This paper that was just handed out say Broward County property appraisal increase in just market value 2018 to 2026. Listed on this paper that was just given to us by the city manager is listing everybody sitting on this dais name, address, their home. They own the homeowner, which is we own as far as where we lived, And it's giving the market value of our homes and the increase of value. And I have no idea what this has to do with your evaluation. Am I missing something? I mean, I see Rex own a home, Rhonda owns a home, Audrey owns a home, Beverly, Greg Harrison. I don't get this. This is your evaluation, but you're sending out addresses to, never knew Rhonda's address. Now I know Rhonda's address. I never knew Darlene's address. I know that now. But what does this have to do with your evaluation? I mean,
It's all public information, and I'm merely pointing out that you all have had an increase in your net worth with the property that you own because of the great projects that we're doing together. You are part of that just as well as me. You should be proud.
Okay, I'm proud.
It's all public information.
Yeah, Beverly, your house is worth more than mine.
Okay, that's.
Mayor?
well, my house more than your house?
Commissioner
How much is your house worth?
Perkins.
The one in Texas?
Wait, Commissioner Perkins has got the floor. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Done?
Yes, I'm done.
Oh, you're finished? Okay.
Mr. Harrison, while I appreciate, thank you.
That's it, go ahead.
Mr. Harrison, while I appreciate that you said that you decided to inform us of our properties and our values, you have on this sheet my husband's trust. Not mine. It's not under my name, it's under his name. And so I think that you have overstepped, sir. Thank you.
Vice Mayor.
Yeah, I think this sums up exactly what our problem is with you, Mr. Harrison. Like, and even we tried to be respectful and positive, and I don't think there's anyone in this audience that can look at us and say we were not. And as a result, what we were handed, obviously what you had prepared, is some ridiculous list, sure it's public information, of all the properties that we own, not just us, Wayne Oken is on here. So, I mean, he's not sitting up here. A list of people, I don't know, I guess maybe he's someone you don't like, or someone that's the thorn in your side, so you added him to the list, and tried to take credit for the work that Pompano Beach has done for what has mainly been market dynamics in South Florida. South Florida was a winner of COVID. Did you do a column here that showed other cities and showed, you know, what the annual growth rate was year over year for real estate in Pompano for each year, and then compare it to our overall values? No, because that would be intellectually honest and complete too. So not only did you do kind of a disrespectful analysis here, it's not done very well. And taking credit for market growth in South Florida, so it's one thing to take credit for everything that your organization does, and I see you do that day in and day out, especially in your performance review, where everything that happens in this city you take credit for. Now you have taken credit for the market growth of real estate in South Florida, and that's pretty impressive, Craig. Good job.
All right. Commissioner Sigerson-Eaton? Oh, no.
We have done.
We're not.
Motion on the floor.
There's a motion on the floor.
No.
Okay.
I think everybody's talked on it enough.
Very good. Let's go ahead and call the roll.
Thank you.
What's the motion again? Because
The motion?
Say how excellent Greg has done.
That's over the past year. That's it.
And that would be a yes vote in the affirmative.
Yes.
Thank you.
Commissioner Fezzik,
It's a vote of no confidence, no.
Commissioner Perkins,
No.
Commissioner Sigerson-Eaton,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fournier,
No.
Mayor Harden.
Yes. All right. That takes us up to additional audience to be heard. Do we have any additional audience to be heard, Mr. Alfred?
Yes, we do. We have 3 additional speakers that wish to speak.
Okay.
Speaker is Delvin King, followed by Jocelyn Jackson, followed by Serica Peterson.
David Dye, live in, I just
I'm
talked
sorry.
minutes.
This is audience to be heard. Yes. I'm sorry. This
No?
isn't a time for open comments. Sorry. Appreciate
This
it.
audience to be heard from yesterday? I mean, from the last meeting?
Yeah, this is additional audience to be heard from the last meeting.
Okay. But no additions from today.
Only for this last meeting, from last night. That's it.
Okay, no
No,
problem.
people that were already signed up. So Delvin King, Jocelyn Jackson.
Delvin King are in the building? Okay. Jocelyn Jackson.
Here's the third one.
And the third one is Sarah Peterson.
Sarah Peterson. Very good.
Jocelyn Jackson. You know, I was actually out there giving you guys kudos. You know, I was doing it too early. I really was. Y'all just shot yourself in the foot. You really was doing outstanding. Very polite, very respectful. And you get a sheet of paper. Just that quickly, get into your emotions. We can't continue to go on like this as residents. It's heartbreaking. It's stressful. We can't continue with this dais. I'm going to work this 7.5 that I stand on hours to change them seats. I can't do it no more. I can't do it. It's depressing. We are the show for other cities of mockery, of foolishness. It's sad. Y'all too grown. But I promise on this life that God give me, with every fiber and every being in me, that this dais won't look the same. I promise you. And when I walk away, you can say whatever you want to say about me. You can challenge me anytime outside them corridors. Anytime. But you get into your emotions as women. That's why women can't lead. You're too emotional. You're emotional creatures. Y'all was doing so good, but you failed. Talking about the paper. Who lived here? Who lived there? Don't matter. Doesn't matter. And he was only being, it was nothing against you guys. He just was only showing you that you guys played a very important part in the change. That's all it was.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Disappointing and disheartening.
Sarah Peterson, are you in the building?
Okay.
That concludes audience to be heard, ma'am.
Very good. We got our next scheduled meeting, September 8th, 2026 at 1 p.m. That's a regular city commission meeting, followed by September 14th, 2026 at 6 p.m. That's the first public budget hearing, which will be right here, followed by September 22nd, 2026 at 6 p.m., a regular city commission meeting, and then September 23rd, 2026 at 6 p.m., and that'll be our second and final budget hearing. All right, takes us up to reports. Mr. Harrison. Anything further?
No, sir.
Very good. Mr. Berman.
Thank you. No report.
All right. Mr. Alfred, City Clerk.
I have no report, Mayor, but I just want to remind the commission of the scheduled meeting on September 8th at 9 a.m. I believe that was called last night at the budget hearing, budget workshop. Just want to remind everyone of that, and we will put out the proper notice to alert the public of that special meeting. That concludes my comments.
Very good. Thank you for that reminder. Appreciate that. Takes us up to City Commission. Commissioner Fessick.
Thank you. I'm going to start with a quote. A long habit of not thinking a thing wrong gives it a superficial appearance of being right. from Thomas Payne. I'm mentioned earlier, I've got my OIG thing, and I'll be right back. I mentioned earlier, or last night, I asked for an email. And so I want this, since it's this meeting, it needs to be on this record. This was the email that I received related to our agenda item related to the Costco that was given to me by the, somebody forwarded it to me, I guess somebody from on the applicant side, to make sure that I had a copy of the email that was circulated. But that wasn't the email, and it wasn't the only email. This is a timeline that was posted online through public records of what happened, and there was multiple emails within a short period of time. And I'm happy to provide this to anybody. This is the email, however, that was the most concerning to me. I'm going to try to make it as visible as possible. It's not a good shot, it's a screenshot. This email was sent Thursday, June 25th, 2026 at 10:56 from David Mingus to Tammy Good, copying Carrie Russo. And it was talking about upcoming tenant improvements and miscellaneous job orders. Good morning, great seeing you last night at the capital improvements planning presentation. With your permission, could I please reach out to Hector or others so we can look at any future work within your departments? The timing on a lot of this is what matters, and so when I had questions about the email that was brought up, that was July 6th. So sometime between, this was June 25th at 10:56 a.m., his email. The email where he wished to change his vote from a no to a yes was at 1:32 p.m. that same day. And then a full week or so went by to July 6th when he changed it back. That needs to be on the record because it's concerning to me, and I'll be back and go up to my stuff. Now, like it or hate it, I've never been afraid to back down from a challenge. And I will say the things that I feel are difficult to say. Mr. Harrison, under your management, there is an individual who has come up many times in communications related to things perhaps not following the correct procedures or processes. In fact, there's a lawsuit that names the same person. Current. And I'm not going to call names because I think you already know, and it'll be very easy for me to share with you privately. This is only one instance, and I have also heard in many instances that this same person is continually one of your favorites. Protected. That is unacceptable. I'm not being emotional about anything. I've sat on this one for probably well over a year in terms of I've brought up questions, I've asked more questions, I've consistently tried to think the best of things rather than the worst. At some point you have to ask yourself a question. If you are consistently being shown certain things, you know the old saying, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it might be a duck. I know we're heading into hiatus, and of course, I know it's election season, and let me tell you something. If you ever thought for a second that I did something for election season, I promise you I'm not. Because what I'm about to say and what I've been saying isn't popular. I'm sure I've really ticked off a few people along this way, but that's okay because it's the right thing to do and I stand up for what's right. There will be forthcoming, if not today, then tomorrow, this going to the OIG, and this will be the first of several. I've realized that the research, and what was below, it's not meant to be alarming, but it was meant to explain to our mayor, who last night decided to, again, seem to be condescending towards me. It was meant to point out that I do work. I have done the work. I will continue to do the work. And that doesn't even represent probably a sixth or a tenth of the information that I have read, filed, and copied and absorbed. Mentioned yesterday, I was angry, and I think that other residents of Pompano Beach should be angry. And it's not from being in a place of angry from emotion. It's from being angry at systemic rot. And yes, there's a lot of nice things, and that's great. But there's also a lot of things that are not nice. So you can slap a fresh coat of paint on something and still have termites. And I think in some of the situations, that's what we're looking at. We have to treat the problem. With that, I obviously have my August cut out for me with paperwork and filings and dealing with requests that I still haven't received for multiple reasons, not just Curvin, in other areas as well. No matter what, I'm not going to give up. I haven't invested this much of my time and this much of my resources to stop. I promised the residents, and I promised, and I swore, when I was, Commissioner Sigerson mentioned being sworn in, and you take an oath to uphold the laws, do right by the residents of the city. And I am going to do that, whether I'm elected or not. But since I did swear, I take those things seriously, and it does not end. I've been pretty calm, cool, collected for the most part. If you were to hear me to my husband or my parents, I'm not as calm or cool or collected. It's frustrating. Millions upon millions of dollars on projects that are being pushed through, and in some cases, things are out of order. Cart before horse, et cetera, contracts, et cetera. I would like, before I get back in September, Mr. Harrison, I would like for Ms. Hall and Ms. Duarte, who have been over a year asking about the Nancy Canal, I want them to have every single piece of paper they have asked for. And Mr. Berman, that goes for you as well. Every single piece of paper they have asked for, every documentation, and I do not want to have to deal with them again saying that they were blocked by this city in getting that information. I know Mr. Saunders has been working with them. We've had multiple meetings. I want them to have the answers before we have our next meeting in September. It's been almost a year. I went back and looked. It's almost a year since the last time I begged for them to get answers. And they've been doing this for 26 years. Unacceptable. Kervin, is that gigantic sheet of all of our personal addresses going to be part of the record?
It has not been given to me, so I don't have what you.
I would respectfully request that we do, if you do so, you would basically, you can leave the dollar amounts, but you would cross off any name that is not mine, even though everybody knows what my husband's name is by now, and any of the addresses. It is public records and the folio numbers. Because you know what? It's fine. You want to talk about value, and that was what your point was. No problem. Add the names, leave the values. I think we can collectively understand that the city has had growth, but it's inappropriate to call people out. Additionally, I don't understand why we had a non-elected or non-staff member on that list with their own personal information. That is confusing. I had a question for...
Commissioner, I don't know if the dollar amounts would constitute as a confidential information.
No, the dollar amounts are fine. You can leave those.
Okay.
Just about the folio number and any name that's not mine, I mean, I'm just requesting mine if you want to pull off everybody else's. But... Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. I just was making sure. I would also like to get a status on the public records request related to the code compliance that was filed with Tahoe Marine Center. And I'd like that before the end of September, before our next meeting as well.
At the end of the meeting?
Before our next meeting.
Before the next meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. One question I forgot to ask during our evaluation was about been mentioned a couple times, Mr. Harrison's time off. And I'm less concerned about the time off. If you have well-deserved time off, you should be taking it. My concern is, I'm curious about how much time is banked. Do you have a large bank of time just sitting there, or I guess because that wasn't in the backup. And so I'm curious from Ms. Sonego, perhaps if we could get, this doesn't have to be now, she can do it at any time, there's no rush, if we could get a status on amount of banked time, if any, and what that dollar amount looks like at the end of the contract. Will it be evaluated at the end of contract with the highest COLA rate, et cetera? And the reason I bring that up is because there was somebody who reached out to me who had questions related to our drop program and is currently waiting on information. He actually used to be a resident of the city, and he has moved. He was actually a temporary resident of the city when we had hurricanes, and he came down, and he was actually down the street from me at the time, unbeknownst to me. But he's requested some information related to our drop program, and he was cited with what I feel and what he feels actually was a pretty enormous dollar amount for a report that is generated on, I think, a weekly basis. I was trying to find his email. Because it wouldn't require staff time and it wouldn't have to be redacted. It's basically just a form that gets filed with a specific entity. So I would just make sure, I'd like to make sure that he gets that information. And in a timely fashion. I don't think charging him $1,000 or something is what it was, somewhere around there, $600 and something. Let's see.
So, Commissioner.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna look for it right here. So it was, his name is Dave J. J-A-Y-E. And he asked for just basically a sortable data list of all drop participants as of July 1st, 2026. Just name, job position title, drop start date, and end date. And that is, some says, please note this is basic employee details and positions are already compiled by HR and payroll on a routine bi-weekly basis on taxpayer time using taxpayer-funded software. So it's an easy extract, and he just asked for it in their native format, Excel or CSV. So since we have to provide that, it's a pretty easy request.
No, it's
Commissioner.
I have to call. Mayor, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, that is not as easy as he makes it out to be. We do have to do system configurations, and it's not something that we produce on a regular basis. So staff has to look into the different details that he's asked for. It's going to require time. So we've been in communication with him. We have advised him if he wishes to continue with his request, either modify or would pay the cost for us to spend the time to generate the record. The law does not require that we create any file, but we are willing to work with him if he insists to have the information. So we are working with him. We're not standing or in the way. It's an option that lays within his decision to make.
Okay, thank you. He works with multiple cities, so that was why he's pretty familiar with how certain things are done, and so I would like to see him continue to be worked with.
We're actively working with him, but the choice lies within him if he wishes to modify or continue with his request.
Thank you.
There's a cost for the time that we have to spend in order for IT to configure a report that would meet his satisfaction.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes,
Thank you.
I was going to, Commissioner, I just for the record, it wouldn't be appropriate for us to try and direct staff to charge something other than what they come up with as a price.
I understand that. I'm not telling him, I just said that the individual felt that it was exorbitant based on running a record.
Well,
I'm allowed to say what he thinks, yeah, thanks.
Sure, that's fine. I just want to make sure there was no attempt there to try and direct staff to reduce the funds, reduce the cost that they gave to the individual. That's
I
all.
merely said
It
that
sounded that
he
way.
felt it was unacceptable. Thank you. He felt it was overcharged. He felt that way. Overall, I think I'm already looking forward to a lovely August. So I will say this. I don't often bring my family members into the fray because I feel like business is business and personal is personal. So I tend to keep life separate in many things and compartmentalize. But this one is something that I am actually pretty proud of. My husband is a world-renowned scientist and a groundbreaking individual in the world of cancer drug discovery. Many people don't know this, but years ago, actually 30 years ago, he invented a specific way that allows people to study protein-to-protein interactions. And some of you may understand, but I think I may have referenced that he was away for a little bit, and I wasn't able to go to visit with family because we had meetings. That's because he was receiving the Marie Maynard Daly Award, which is the newest award sponsored by the Protein Society. What that does is it recognizes groundbreaking research at the interface between protein science and human health. He was the 2026 award winner, and he's associated with Vanderbilt University. And this is their little sentence. Dr. Fezzik is a world leader in the development and utilization of fragment-based methods and structure-based drug design approaches to develop new therapeutics targeting undruggable proteins. Innovative and pioneering research has revolutionized our methods for finding new cancer therapeutics and yielding critically important discoveries about cancer biology. Out of a world full of people, I'm exceptionally proud of his work, and I'm exceptionally proud of him. So, thanks. Yeah, so we do, like, I think it's important to say that, you know, somebody mentioned earlier, we are human, and we all try to be respectful. We can disagree on things. And I'd like to point out that especially as we move into what's going to be a very interesting, as some people have somewhat threatened, campaign season and such.
Ladies and gentlemen, please.
I'm sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Promises, not threats.
ladies and gentlemen, please. That's enough. That's two. Please, be quiet.
Ms. Jackson.
Be quiet. Thank you.
I just would like to say that, remember, if anybody has any questions related to me specifically, if you have questions related to anything I've said, as evidenced here on purpose, if you want to know what I think, come ask me. If you want to know what I've learned, come ask me. I'm happy to share. If you want to read through the files that I have had, come ask me. I'm happy to provide them to you. In fact, some of them are already provided publicly, and you can download them and read for yourself and figure it out all by yourself. I am a very, very approachable person. I am generally very kind, very accepting, and very welcoming. I am not a person who does anything with hate in my heart. I do hold people accountable to an expectation that they should be the very best person they can be. And I do have a moral code that I understand not everybody has. But I promise you, I'm going to enjoy my time with my husband over this hiatus and actually truly enjoy it and enjoy time with my family, knowing full well that this work will be here when I get back. Thank you.
Very good. Commissioner Perkins.
Thank you, Mayor, and congratulations to your husband. I have three things. About 3 weeks ago, we had the death of two of our loved ones in Pompano, AJ and Bree. And of course, I called their families to ask if I could have a symposium because of the gun violence. And of course, the family said yes, and we would like to have a march. So I put the march together, and we ended with a symposium. Thank you, BSO, for being involved. So we decided, and I stated to the family that we wanted to continue this. So we're having the second symposium for gun violence on August 17th. So the last symposium we had over 200 students there, and over 300 people there. So we want to continue this and try to reach our young people in a different way about gun violence. I know we'll probably end up changing the name to something else because everybody uses the word gun violence. But what we're trying to do is continue what we started because of the family suggesting we have that march. And at the end of the march, we ended, of course, at the Pat Larkin Center and had the symposium, which was very effective. So myself and the Circle of Brotherhood will be sponsoring the Nonviolent Symposium on Monday, August 17th. Also, I wanted to say, it's with profound sadness that we learn of the passing of Crystal Coleman, who was one of our very own. She was a swimming coach at the Houston Swan Pool, and I know she's in the Parks and Recreation Department. She was full-time there, and she worked closely with Scott, and Scott said he's been knowing her since she was a little girl. So she was a very, very dedicated employee, and she loved our children and helped a lot of them swim. So I really wanted to say thank you to Scott for reaching out to the family as well as trying to get counseling for those young people that will miss her. And also, I think you said you're having a memorial for her. I think it's August 5th. August 5th, which is next Wednesday. So, and I know the same night that she passed, he and I was on the phone talking about what could we possibly name after her around that pool area. So I think he and staff, they're working on that. But I just wanted to say that we've lost a big love for her. She was always dedicated to those kids at that swimming pool. So I know the services are coming up shortly, so I'll bring that back to you when I receive it. So lastly, what I want to bring up is the E. Pat Larkin Center, E. Pat Larkin's Community Center. So there's been a lot of talk around the community, and I've said this over and over and over again, and I'm going to say it again. I don't know where the idea came from about relocating or moving the E. Pat Larkin Center. I do know that we do have a new downtown project. I'm aware of that. But who and how and what it all came about as far as demolishing the building and relocating it in another location. I'm totally against that. I do know that the building was built somewhere in 2004, 2005. And I'm on the same page, and I do respect E. Pat Larkin's wife. She doesn't want the building torn down, and I agree with her. And about 2 years ago, we had meetings at the E. Pat Larkin Center regarding this building, and the majority of the people said they wanted the building to remain. Now, we do know the building is older, and it needs to be upgraded and probably bring up to the code, today's code. And some are saying that Pat's wife, E. Pat Larkin's wife, is not in the best shape, but she knows how to call me every 2 or 3 weeks and ask me about that building. So she might be up and down, I don't know, but I get those phone calls. And I'm going to do whatever I can to support her to keep that building standing. And I think as a city, we need to respect that. I understand that it's a project. I understand that things change. But I do understand that McDougal House was sitting on Dixie Highway, and we lifted that building about the ground. And we placed that building where we wanted it because it was a part of Pompano's history. And I do understand that we on Atlantic Boulevard picked that building up, McNabb House, and took it down the street because, again, we wanted to preserve our Pompano history. So I feel the same way about this building. I've said this over and over and over again, but the city and the CRA is moving right along with saying they're going to demolish this building. They've hired a company, an architecture company, to come up with a design of how this community wants it to look. And I attended their last meeting, and some of the questions they were asking the residents about a new facility was very insulting to me, especially because I knew Pat personally. I worked a lot of his campaigns. I ran a lot of his campaigns. We hung out at the Elks together. I worked with him at Minority Builders. He hired me there. So questions that they were asking, what do you want this building to be? What do you want it to look like? What do you're sitting in the history. It's part of our history. That's a landmark for us. So I want to make it very clear to the city, or whoever came up with the idea that we're going to utilize all of this land for the new downtown and we want that building out of the way. And I know the city doesn't have a problem with putting his name on it. I know that. It's just the landmark, the location. And I just feel some kind of way when I see the call ID and it's Betty Larkins. I'm like, you don't have to worry about it. We got it. I don't want you. Just worry about yourself and we'll take care of this. This is his wife. I have a lot of respect for her. She's a retired school teacher. And we're still moving right along. We're hired an architect and you all should be happy. So I just need the city, CRA, and I know who's running this project listening, to really consider Pat Larkin's wife. I know the project is about the future. I know the project is about money. I get that. And the project is going to happen. I get that too. But I'm very sensitive about anything being torn down in my district. Very much so. Because so much is gone that I remember as a little girl that doesn't remain. So I would love to tear down my house and rebuild it, but I still have my childhood there, so parts of it I want to stay. So I could always remember that part of my life. That's the part with the Pat Larkin Center. So I just want the city and the CRA to look at that again. I understand that this architect, whatever group, is having 6 or 7 meetings. I understand that, but I don't understand that. I don't get it. I just really don't. The disrespect on every level to say this building is coming down. And the community met 2 years ago and said no. And we saw renderings. The whole community saw all these beautiful designs of a rendering of how the new Pat Larkin's building would look, and they still said no. So that's my take on that, and I'll see everybody in September. Thank you.
Very good. Commissioner Segerson-Eaton.
Thank you, Mayor. I wish everyone a nice August. And in light of I'm hearing a dim growling sound coming from the audience. So it's past lunchtime. So no report. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Commissioner Smith.
Quick report. August 19th at 6 o'clock at Skolnick, be having a District 5 Town Hall with BSO presenting the senior scam presentation. So looking forward to learning how to detect scams and what to do if you become a victim of a scam. Just end with my positive quote, it's about love. This is from Theo of Golden by Alan Levy. For anything to be good, truly good, there must be love in it. Whether the art is sculpture, farming, teaching, lawmaking, medicine, music, or raising a child. Nothing is what it's supposed to be if love is not at the core. Have a good month.
Very good. Thank you. Vice Mayor.
Thank you. I have a few things, but I'll be quick.
Vice Mayor.
Yes.
You own all of these properties?
I do.
Wow. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I can't help but be struck by the contrast between who I know Steve Fezzik to be, Audrey's husband, and our city manager. So I was just struck when you said that because our Mr. Fezzik is modest and humble, and you would never know that he is doing groundbreaking work that is truly saving lives. And it's a good reminder that humility is the flip side of pride. I want to thank Parks and Rec and really the entire city, because it's been a journey for the skate park. We had a ribbon cutting at the skate park last week, and there have been by every day. It's definitely being used. It was a very well-attended event. There was so much excitement, enthusiasm from the community and from all the people who have spent years making that happen. So thank you to everyone who's made that happen. Want to remind everyone of all the construction projects going on in and around District 3 and thank them for their patience. The McNabb Bridge project is moving along. I believe that the canal will be open to boat traffic again this weekend. It's been closed, so I believe on Saturday it will be reopened to boat traffic. There is a lot of paving going on in Garden Isles, so thank you for your patience with that, but it looks very nice. So we will wrap that up in the next couple of weeks. I want to thank Rep. Moskowitz for coming today and bringing that big check. That is helpful. And I also want to point out that he's got great taste in restaurants. All of his favorites are in District 3. And I want to say that I'm actually proud of this commission. Instead of a quote, I'm going to just say for a second, I'm proud of us for our work over the last couple of weeks on the budget and finding ways to work together and compromise on things that are truly, really important to our city. So thank you to my colleagues for that. Have a great August.
Very well. All right, I've got no report. This meeting is adjourned.